Welcome to the Who Knew podcast with Bruce Lubin. I'm Jennifer Boudneau, the editor of the Who Knew books. Today we're going to help you get your yard in shape for spring. That includes tips for your filthy patio furniture, as well as starting a garden if you've ever done one, and some good seed starters. And of course, we have our usual money-saving tip from thepennyhoarder.com and our life hack lightning round. But first, we love having great advertisers support our show. But in order to continue doing that, we need your help. So please go to podsurvey.com/who-knew and take a quick anonymous survey that will help us get to know you a little better. That way we can show advertisers just how great our listeners are. Plus, once you've completed the survey, you can enter to win a $100 Amazon gift card. Again, that's podsurvey.com/WHO-KNEW. Thanks for your help. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Jen. How are you?
I'm good. So it's almost spring.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready to. Especially for daylight savings time, when it switches over and then I actually see daylight again. It's just a beautiful time.
That's right.
You know, most of my family lives in California now, where it's pretty nice almost all of the year, and I keep holding on to this thing of like, no, but having the seasons are great. It makes you feel better when the seasons change, but I might just be lying to myself, because also living somewhere where it's 70 degrees and sunny all the time is also pretty great.
I just view it as another way for you to resent your family. So there's that.
Yeah, there's always that. Or just, resenting everything in general. That's the thing about winter. So I'm excited for it to be spring and to be able to get outside. I think we have some good tips for people today on getting their yards in order.
Yep.
Before we get to all of our spring tips that we have ourselves, we have our usual tip from thepennyhoarder.com. How much do you love these?
Oh, they're so good. They're always so helpful.
They really make us good. And now we have Justin doing some as well. And we love Lisa, but I guess we could say Justin, and Justin's just as good as Lisa. We like it, Justin. So Justin has got a great tip for us today on maintaining a garden on a budget.
Hey everybody, it's Justin with thepennyhoarder.com, and I'm here with today's money hack. Spring is here again, and we've got tips for maintaining a beautiful yard on a budget. The biggest expense in keeping your lawn gorgeous is hiring professionals, so keep your landscaping simple enough that you can DIY as much as possible. Keep in mind that grass only requires a few treatments every year, and mulch is easy to install with additional savings when you buy in bulk. You can also try xeriscaping, which is a landscaping style that requires very little watering. You can also consider artificial grass. While the upfront cost may be a little higher than sod, or a lot in some places, artificial grass eliminates the need for a mower and irrigation, plus maintenance is only the occasional raking and a bottle of cleaner for stains. Adding edible greenery can save you money on groceries, but if you're going to go with flowers, choose perennials instead of annuals. These hardier plants require less replacing and are perfect for those whose thumbs are more brown than green.
That was great.
That's really helpful stuff.
You actually have one of those artificial grass backyards.
It's transformative.
I like to make fun of you for it, but it does look nice. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I look out of your window and I'm like, wow, look at that. And then I realize it's all, you're faking it. You're faking it.
Exactly right.
So Bruce is going to tell everyone some tips that he learned back when he had a real grass lawn that he messed up to the point where he gave up and went AstroTurf. But you can learn from his
Well, I'll tell you something. The very best lawn fertilizer, that's the cheapest too, is just Epsom salts.
Yes, so Epsom salts are amazing.
They really are. So what you want to do is you can just throw them by the handful on your lawn.
Yeah, it's the sulfur in them, but then they also have phosphorus and they actually, the thing I love about Epsom salt fertilizer, because there is so much to love, is that they keep bugs away. Too. It keeps the bugs away at the same time as fertilizing. It's really the best thing. And you can, if you aren't familiar with Epsom salts, you can buy them at most drugstores.
Yeah, and
I'm not sure what aisle they're in. Maybe
that I don't know.
Whatever aisle the foot bath stuff is in. That's usually where they are. But you can ask around, and they're cheap.
Yeah,
they're cheap.
Really cheap. So a couple more tips about the lawn. So you want to keep your grass about 3 inches high. The higher the grass, the less direct sunlight's available for weeds to grow. So that's one of the reasons you want to do it. When you're mowing your lawn, what you want to do is do it in the early morning or the end of the day, not in the direct sun. And if the lawnmower, and this is a great tip, I've said it before, but I love it so much.
Yeah, this really is a great one.
To keep the grass from sticking to your lawnmower, you want to spray the blades with a vegetable oil.
Yeah.
And it really will save you a lot of time. Also, you want to water in the morning or the evening, but not in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
That'll
I have
help
a great tip too. A lot of people reseed their lawn this time of year, which is really good. If you're having trouble with birds, you have probably found that a scarecrow is not actually as effective as TV and the movies would have you believe. So one tip that we say in Who Knew Land is if you basically you get stakes. You put a stake in each, not a stake like you're going to eat, a stake like you shove into the ground.
post,
Yeah, you do one in each corner, and then you make string like in an X shape over the grass, and then hang little strips of aluminum foil on that. The aluminum foil works well because the reflection, birds don't really like that. And then if they get near it, they try to bite it. They don't like it under their teeth. They don't like aluminum foil. Some people have also been known to do them with old CDs. If you're really looking for something to do with those old CDs and DVDs, they also have that reflective thing, and you can do that. But give that a try if you're having trouble with birds eating your seed.
What if I want to listen to Frampton Comes Alive? What do I do with that CD?
That's what iTunes is for.
So those are great tips for the lawn. Let's talk about the patio.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got your wicker furniture, and it's probably a little bit ratty because it's been stored in the, for the winter.
Is there anything people can do to solve this?
Plenty of things you can do. First, you want to blow dry off all the loose dirt, and then just clean it with
that's
spray.
clever. Just with a blow dryer.
Yep. You just a little spray of vinegar and warm salt water. And that'll really, really clean it. And then a tiny bit of lemon oil. And that's all you need to do. And then if it's really squeaky, the water that you use will actually absorb. It will moisturize it. Oh. And it should keep it from
getting
squeaking.
it wet is a good thing if it's squeaky.
It really is.
What about if you have, like I do, super fancy plastic resin furniture?
Yes, of course. We all do. So a couple things you can do. One is if you have a swimming pool.
Oh, I see you say this tip, but I feel like this is just over the top, Bruce.
This is
over the top.
Party cleaning. If you throw your plastic furniture into a pool that's chlorinated, it'll clean it in a couple hours.
And then all of the dirt goes out the filter, and you cracked a beer.
Clean
your furniture's floating in the pool. People come over.
Just
you're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Do not judge. Think of your furniture.
Okay, what if you don't have a pool?
So if you don't, you want to put a little shaving cream all over the furniture. Shaving cream. And let it sit there for about 10 minutes.
Oh, yes, of course. You did this one on Kathy Lee and Hoda. How could I forget you demonstrating to Kathy Lee shaving cream
you can then hose it off, but if it's really really bad stains, you want to scrub it a little bit.
Yeah.
So use a little brush or something, but shaving cream will clean all that furniture. You don't have to live with the stains or buy new stuff. So it's a really great tip. Your patio umbrella. You put it away, and now you take it out, and it's probably all mildewed and a little bit disgusting. So what you want to do is take a bucket with warm water, add a couple of cups of white vinegar, some dishwashing liquid, scrub it, let it sit in the sun for a few hours, then just rinse it.
Oh, vinegar solves everything.
It really does. Vinegar is a miracle. We know that.
And the sun probably helps too with the warmth. I know we've said that before with other things with stains. It'll bleach stains out and disinfect stuff.
You were talking about seeds before, and I will tell you.
Yeah, this is the season where we're starting everything. So do you have tips for people who? I have a couple tips for people that are starting a garden, but what do you have about seeds?
So what I would say is, if you're buying seeds, you don't want to buy those. You don't want to spend money for those seed starters. You can just use a cardboard egg carton and just put the seeds in some dirt.
It's practically the same thing.
It practically is the same thing. You also use even toilet paper or paper towel tubes if you cut them. But I like the egg carton. It's real simple.
And then you just cut the tubes and put them all in a box and just put dirt in them.
Yep, you could do that. But again, the egg cartons is the way to go because you have them and they're simple and it's easy and it's uncomplicated. So that's a good thing to do. And if you have leftover seeds, if you're planting flowers and you find yourself with leftovers, you can actually put them in a container and freeze them for a year.
Oh, yes, freeze them.
Yes,
because seeds actually will go bad.
Not if you freeze them, Jen. Not if you freeze them.
So I wanted to let people, as you guys know, I live in Brooklyn, so I'm not going to lie and tell you that I have a huge, beautiful vegetable garden. But growing up, I sure did. And I love the thought of gardening. I mean, if
Yeah.
I ever got a house, the first
Yeah.
thing I do would make a big garden, and then I would not do all the things I was supposed to, and then the next year I would feel bad about letting the garden go to waste. So I look forward to that, because
Yeah,
it's
that
good
all
to
worked
it's good
out.
to look forward to your guilt ahead of time, right? But if you've never gardened before, you should give it a thought. Especially these days, you can grow vegetables and spices and save a lot of money.
Yep.
So if you're into saving money, it's a good thing to do. And what to do is to pick out an area in your lawn or in somewhere that you want to do it, and lay out several sheets of newspaper, and that'll sort of plan it out, and it'll start to kill everything underneath that newspaper, which is what you want to do because you want the dirt there.
Right.
So lay that down as soon as you can, and even if it snows on top or there's leaves on top or mulch or whatever it is, that's fine. Wet the area, and then by eventually when you're ready for planting, the grass will be gone. And Justin gave some tips for buying plants, but one that we like is plantnative.org,
Yep.
the website, and they have flowers, and they also even have like bushes and trees and vines and grasses, and they're all ones that are native to your area. So if you can buy plants that are native to your area, you have a much better chance of keeping them alive. So that's my tip, is don't go, buying the beautiful roses that don't do well in your area, or tomatoes or whatever. Figure out what grows well in your area and start there, and do that before, you feel guilty later for messing it up.
What I would say is, if you don't even have an outside, but you want to start like an herb garden or something, and we used to do this with our kids, and it was kind of fun to do. You just take a couple of sponges and dampen them, and get the seeds, and just put them in the sponge, and put them in a window, and that will start.
Oh, like the little holes in the sponge?
Yeah, they will sprout,
that's
and then
cute.
you can go plant
It is
them.
really fun to get kids involved, I think, this time of year with
totally.
seed
And
starters.
watching things grow is sort of an amazing thing.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So,
I hope you have more tips for us this spring on various plant things as we
plenty.
go along.
As many as you want, Jen, as you know.
So I think it's time for our life hack lightning round. Each week, for those who don't know, Jeannie writes down the name of an object, and we come up with as many things as we can involving that object. What is it this week?
Oh, just when I thought I couldn't love her anymore, she chose alcohol.
Alcohol.
So let's say that means hard liquor and beer. Want to do that? Because we'll save wine for another time?
Yes, we
Wanna do
probably
that?
have a lot of wine tips. So beer,
so.
beer and liquor.
Yeah. All right, so I've got one for spring. So if you've got... Notice how excited I am.
I was about to say, yeah.
So if you've got like pillows for your patio furniture that are kind of a little musty or whatever, that have been stored all winter, you take a bottle of warm water, add a couple of teaspoons of cheap vodka, shake it up, spray it all over the
I don't think I'm supposed to be
furniture.
giggling this much, but I'm sorry. Every time you talk about spraying vodka all over everything
good.
you own, I have to.
It's so good, and it will get rid of all the mildew.
And the smell does go away. Everything does smell like vodka, for a second.
But only for a second, as if that's a bad thing, by the way. But it goes away, and then it just smells like fresh. It's like the absence of anything, which is perfect.
So I have one for beer. You can actually use beer as a wood furniture cleaner.
Yes, you
I know that
can.
olive oil and vinegar is our favorite wood cleaner ever in the world, but beer actually works too. You just put it on a damp smudge on a damp sponge and use it to wipe everything out.
Yeah, no, it works great. I'm going back to vodka. If you have potpourri, that you have in a jar or something, and it loses its scent, rather than just throwing it out, if you spray some vodka in there, and
This is a great one.
Just it reinvigorates it.
Yeah,
And
mix up the potpourri. I love that one.
Mix it up, and then you can keep using it.
I have one for any kind of clear liquor, which is if you add basically about maybe somewhere between a teaspoon and a tablespoon full of clear liquor, so rum, vodka, gin, anything like that, into a flower vase. That it keeps bacteria off the flower. I mean, I guess you could use whiskey too, but then the water would look weird. The clear is just so it doesn't look weird in the water, but it's good for your plants.
Beer. You know what? I'm glad you do.
I have a good beer one. That's not how it works. Now you have to do one.
Yeah, well, what can I say? The one I was going to say is you can wash your hair in flat beer, but I have to say, having never done that, but knowing
you can. That's true, though. It's really good to add volume to your hair.
Yeah, so that really works for volume to your hair. All you do is simply just coat your hair with it, leave it on for a little while, and then shampoo it off.
I have a weird beer one. It's if you have toenail fungus.
Oh, yes.
You can soak or fingernail fungus. You can soak your nails in beer, and you're supposed to use the darkest beer you can find. And the yeast in it, the whatever it is, the fungus will get attracted to the beer. The bad thing about that tip, though, is that you can't drink beer while you're doing it, because then your body gets all the beer in it and it wants to stay in your body. So,
well, I think we should declare you the winner. Dark beer, yeast, and fungus.
For toenail fungus. I had one more though. I had one more. It's a little bit off season, but beer is great for slugs in your garden.
Oh, hell
How could you forget slugs in your garden? So you put a little, you can use a tuna can or a little tray of some kind and put it just so the lip is at the center of the soil, and then put a little beer in there and they'll fall into there and they'll drown in the beer. So buy the cheapest beer you can find, and then it'll keep the slugs from eating the plants. I have
done that, and it works and is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it's both of those things.
Yeah, it sure
it's both
is.
Of those things.
So.
I think that's a good place to end.
And I think you really
dead
won.
Slugs in beer. I know, who would have thought that I would have won the booze round? Well, thanks so much, Bruce, and thanks to everyone else for listening today. For all of these tips and more, visit quickanddirtytips.com/who knew, or visit us on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, or anywhere else you're on social media. Just search Who Knew Tips to find much more tips. And if you love our podcast, please think about leaving us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Perhaps Spotify, one of my favorite places to listen to podcasts now. Leaving us a review really helps us, because then people realize that people love our podcast and we'll get more listeners, which is what we need to keep us going.
Exactly right.
Well Thanks said. Again. We'll see you next time.
You bet. Bye-bye, everyone.